I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. We are returning to 2 Kings now, reading a little bit more in our histories. We left off in the beginning of the reign of Hezekiah. We've read about his great religious reforms. He destroyed all the idol worship, broke the brazen serpent. He hosted a great Passover for all of Israel, which inspired all those who attended to destroy their own idols. Great times. But that was early on. That was the first year of his reign. We're going to be now moving on to a little later in his reign. Now remember, he became king when Hoshea is king in Israel. And during his reign, the northern kingdom will be taken captive by Assyria. That's what we're going to read now. We're going to turn to 2 Kings. We're going to read 4 verses in chapter 18, verses 9 through 12. Then we're going to go back to chapter 17, because this all tells about the Assyrian captivity. And in 18, we get a brief summary, and in 17, we get more details. So we're going to do the summary first, then we do the details. So here is 18, verses 9 through 12. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years they took it, even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel into Assyria, and put them in Hala, and in Habor by the river Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant, and all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded, and would not hear them, nor do them. There's our brief summary. Now it says, in the cities of the Medes, the Median Empire, or the Median Kingdom, was kind of to the northeast of the original Assyrian kingdom, and it was conquered by the Assyrians, or at least subdued by the Assyrians. And so now they're moving Israel, they're deporting Israel into the cities on the other side of their empire. Israel is down in the southwest, and they're being sent up to the northeast. So that's how that's going. Now we turn to chapter 17. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. It's a very long chapter. So we are going to read verses 5 through 23. Let's see how this goes. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land, and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria, and carried Israel away into Assyria, and placed them in Hala, and in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. For it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods, and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and the kings of Israel which they had made. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God, and they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill, and under every green tree. And there they burnt incense in the high places, as did the heathen, whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger, for they served idols, whereof the Lord had said unto them, Ye shall not do this thing. So look at how widespread the idol worship is. It's in every city, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. So they had idols set up in every fort, in every city, there was not a place in all Israel that did not have idol worship. So the extensiveness of this false religious practice, this is what primarily is getting Israel in trouble. You'll note the basic information there that doesn't name the king of Assyria, but Shalmaneser, who is named in chapter 18, but it's basically the same information. City besieged for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, it is taken, and they are deported, and again the same cities, Hala, Habor, on the river Gozan, and the cities of the Medes. So the first few verses there are basically the same thing as in chapter 18, but now we're getting an explanation of why they're being taken captive, and it's primarily due to the idol worship. Verse 13. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks, like the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their God. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them that they should not do like them. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their land, out of their own land, to Assyria unto this day. So, sorry, that's the end of the chapter. This is really just rehearsing all the wickedness of Israel that has caused God to allow them to be taken captive and driven out and scattered among Assyria. And he says, even with all this idol worship, I sent my prophets, I sent my teachers, I sent my servants to testify to you, to call you back, to show you your errors, and you still did not repent, and you made things worse. You followed these false religions into divinations, into human sacrifices. And instead of listening to the prophets, you just kept getting worse and worse. So now we have to destroy you. This section here doesn't really give us a lot of history, but it does explain why everything happened. It is a summary of all the wickedness that has eventually led to the northern kingdom being destroyed. So we will leave that here. In my next video, I will finish out chapter 17, which will give us a little bit more of the historical events going on. So we will see you there.